Yeah, I completely agree. I guess again, I'm just sort of thinking like in team sports, we mainly prescribe high intensity interval training because that's better suited to the demands of what we do. And actually, as a prescription tool, there it's really really tough because, of course, similar to tempos, you get this cumulative bout effect, whereby even though you if you run at the same speed, the same tempo, or the same whatever, bouts 2 and 3 and 4 are harder than their predecessors because you're accumulating, amalgamating the fatigue effectively. It's like lack of recovery before the next one, before you go again, or you're recovered to baseline, but your capacity to perform is now reduced. So that's where it becomes different because then I think prescribing off RPE then can be pretty tough. Like if you tell someone to do an interval, not as long as a tempo. Let's say we were going like 30 on, 30 off, and you just say, I want you to run hard for 30 seconds. It's like, am I basing running hard on like my initial speed? So am I sort of basing this on how quick I'm running? And that's like how much I'm lifting on the bar. Or am I basing it on like by the end of that 30 seconds, it should feel hard and I sort of up regulate and down regulate from there? I think probably what we want is more towards the latter. But on the first few intervals, it's so hard for athletes to use that as the cue, if you like, because there's kind of no continuous. Again, it comes back to effort is a continuous sensation, and if you're there for interval number one, and my instruction is run so it feels hard, and I've done nothing at this point, and I go 3, 2, 1, go. For me to go from nothing for it to feel hard, I've got to set out the blocks pretty quick, and then I'm gonna get a smack in the lungs before I very suddenly drift back down to reality where I'm at there. So I think it's pretty tough. I think it can probably be used not as a initial prescriptive tool for things like tempos and high intensity intervals, but maybe as a subsequent moderator of sets thereafter. And again, it could be this kind of amalgamation of other factors that would influence your effort, but that are not effort, like your fatigue or perception proximity to task failure. I think it's probably more a bit of a kind of like a moderator there, either whether it's prescriptively or it's in your head. Whereas with stuff like the short intervals that I spoke about, you would kind of know that before you got to that point in any case. If you had a certain distance to hit in 30 seconds and you're not hitting that distance, you're going to perceive it as harder than it is, because if you were hitting that distance, it would definitely be harder than it is right now.